kind of just about edge out the victory, or else they end up losing it in a very close fashion. So I do feel like it gives Demise a little bit of hope, but they themselves have not looked amazing in their last couple Inferno matchups. So there's definitely a couple question marks coming into this one.
Well, we'll take a look at how they perform as we're already into the pistol round. As we can see, Demise taking a very slow approach on the T side. They're not looking to get aggressive early on towards a banana push or indeed apartments. It's not what we usually see from the T side. They've left the bomb down towards the T spawn as well, looking to skirmish on banana, leaving a player lurking outside A to maybe catch the rotates, but it also leaves them open to a potential rotate to A later on where they can take the hit if they successfully fake out on banana.
Ooh, Mir waiting on that flash to come in, does decide to pounce. It didn't actually blind up Mini, but he was still able to find the frag and takes down Engin as well. Even though there was a third player up close, I guess kind of at that point shied away from taking the repeat. I think they did also hear that there was a second player pushing up close. So they, I guess at that point, just decided to cut their losses. Let's see if any sort of recovery can actually be found here for Demise as they look to try and shift their attention back towards that A bomb site. And they have sold a little bit of a fake. I mean, magixx in towards the spawn. He can rotate back pretty quickly, but it does give them a bit of a chance now to try and isolate this fight in the bomb site and in towards the pit, which actually works out pretty well for them. magixx at this point, I think, should just fall back off, and that will indeed be his goal. Able to fade back through the smoke. The bomb gets planted, but they at least have the man advantage to work with coming into the retake.
A step being heard in pit by Mur, so they've got that info to play with. Now spotting beyAz on the site. Spirit are winning the information game, the man advantage as well, but beyAz comes around, finds one, sees the player coming into pit, not able to do anything down there, as beyAz gets lit up as well. It's a defuse for Team Spirit in the first round, going their way on the retake.
Yeah, very well played. I was a little bit worried for I believe it was Mir, who was in towards the sandbags. Fortunately, didn't really try and clear it out. They were just holding for the counter aggression, which did come in, but then got caught by that initial peek from sandbags. So well played, good adjustment as well. Falling back, being willing to just play that retake when they had the advantage. And as you said, now picking up that opening pistol round, very nice find. But the force buy will be coming in. Demise is going to be buying up a couple of rifles. They actually have an AK and 2 Kriegs, able to buy up one more Krieg there within the last few seconds. So this is definitely a buy that could catch Team Spirit off guard. I mean, it's become somewhat common, so I don't think it's going to be a massive shock if it is the case. But the fact that they've gone here for 3 MP9s, I mean, it gives them the extra utility, which is always a little bit of a little bit of a security net, I suppose, when you're in these rounds, being able to run down the time. But 3 MP9s, 3 rifles then over on the Demise side. I mean, firepower-wise, you could debate that this is a slightly better buy for Demise. And they also have a decent amount of utility to work with. I mean, they aren't lacking completely. 2 players having a full set each.
The potential's definitely there. A map like Inferno lends itself to these closer range fights, but over towards long, you've got 2 M4s tucked down, ready to take a fight when Demise make presence. Murray not yet peeking. He's toying with the idea of it, trying to catch the angle as they come around. And Demise have got the map control. Moving on up, they've left 1 player tucked in close. At this point, both teams are waiting for the other to make a move, but it's Demise that have the pressure on their back. Flash goes over, and Paz is going to be taken down immediately with the trade as well for iDISBALANCE. He's denying any access towards it, finding 2 SMG kills and leaving them with a 2-man advantage. The problem, we've had the rotate coming around. Nobody on the B side to help out right now, as it's only going to be Chopperish. Trying to win a 1 versus 2, SMG in hand. He's being spotted as well. His teammates coming around, but he's taken down. Now the side is lost, and Mer can only really spam, actually landing some good damage onto imoRR, but it will still be a retake, and Demise have got time to tuck in while the rotates are on its way.
And it looks like they want to try and force the issue in towards construction. Unfortunately, Mini goes down immediately. So imoRR, the player who had previously been tagged up, is now left all alone. And with 1 player from CT, with 1 from Banana, they're able to just peek that one together and take him down pretty easily. Team Spirit, they will find the second round, but I mean, a pretty close one. They do end up losing quite a few weapons, retrieving an AK and a Krieg in the end. But they had invested themselves into 2 M4s and then the 3 MP9s with all the utility. So, I mean, there is the chance that Demise may consider buying up again in this one. They got the bomb down, they have a decent amount of money to work with. It looks like they're probably going to go for the slightly safer option, just kind of invest that extra cash that they have, be able to get the full buy then into the upcoming round. But they still have the chance here to at least put some damage in, so they can keep the economy very low for Team Spirit. You can see they don't really have any money left over at all after investing into this round.
Yeah, that's it. The cash is super limited. That's what you want to see, especially after we had so many SMG kills coming through. It's ideal that Spirit haven't been able to run away with the economy. We say 2 to 3 kills, and Demise are 2 to 3 kills. What Demise are looking for. I'm surprised with Demise because they're playing so passive in these early rounds, waiting for Spirit to make a move. We saw it in the pistol. We're seeing it again now. just playing on bottom of ramp, hoping Spirit maybe get aggressive down banana. But with the read that the CTs have on the economy of their opponents, they know that it's not the time to try and force any closer range fights, especially as they really need to survive with those 4 rifles they've got in play, the only expendable member being Chopperish. Over towards the B side, immediately iDISBALANCE is being pushed down, AWP in hand, and he's alone. He's not going to be able to do a lot against these pistols if they get close. Has to make a move now, being naded out, missing the shots. Mer comes in to rotate and help out. He can be pushed up behind though, and that's exactly what happens. Getting deleted on the bomb side, and 1 kill to go down for the T side alongside control and a bomb plant. They've picked up an AWP. They've got a good chance, considering where they started, at actually converting this round.
Just as you say that though, the op will get dropped, at least out of the hands of imoRR. beyAz is able to retrieve it by taking some damage immediately as well, and allows for that MP9 to have an easy time finishing this one off. Jumping in to actually take down that second player, Engin only on the pistol. It's very difficult to deal with those jumping players when you don't have the rifle to work with. 3-0 for Team Spirit, and finally they do manage to come out with a cleaner round, keeping 4 players alive. I've got to say though, good work by iDISBALANCE. I didn't even expect him to be able to pick up that 1 kill from the back of the bomb site. He was in a pretty precarious position right there, getting naded, I believe, then flashed at the same time, of course, then peaked on both sides. The fact that he was able to come out with even 1 kill and keep that advantage was a bit of a miracle. But here we go, the full buy finally going to be available for Demise, and considering what they've been able to do so far, this certainly could be a scary round. I mean, the economy isn't amazing, even with 4 players rather surviving in that previous round for Team Spirit.
Yeah, it's still very early on, and if Demise managed to find this round and force Spirit onto, again, some weaker weapons, that could really hamper their progress and give Demise an opening into a solid half, let alone an okay one. Again, prompting for the very slow plays, not taking initial map control towards banana, but in the apartments, we've already seen Engin jump on up. He's tucking away, hoping to find a fight a little bit later on. Team Spirit making very early stacks towards the A site. You can see Chopperish has the information on B. He was jump spotting down on banana. He smoked it as well. So Spirit are happy to stack over the majority of their forces here with the fact that Chopperish can back off and they can rotate in. The flashes on short indicate Demise certainly want to take some control, and they're telling Spirit at this point, you're in the right spot having this stack over here. The contact should be coming through. I'm really curious about how magixx plays this. So, like, tucked in the corner, he has very little support right now, and he uses the smoke to just bail back, which I think is the right call.
Yeah, it's an interesting setup from Team Spirit, even though this is quite common. Normally, you'd prefer to have the Opper around this position. It puts Chopper in a spot where he can only kind of jump peek for the info, is forced in and fall back off without having much of a chance of even being able to take a kill before they push in. So here we go, indeed, forced to give up banana. He will be on the bomb site itself, but there's no real rotation actually coming in from Team Spirit, so not being able to get any kills, getting mollied out into the open. That should be this round over and done with. I mean, there's 16 seconds, plenty of time for this bomb to get planted. You see Team Spirit now beginning to rotate. But if they don't get a kill relatively quickly, retaking this B bomb site 4-on-5, it is going to be pretty difficult, and you can see immediately giving up on it. As I said, not having the most amazing money, saving over these weapons, it'll give them plenty to be able to drop what they need to the Chopper, who did actually go down. He could buy for himself as well, so it depends what way they actually want to spread this out right now. But they will have a decent buy again. But good recovery by Demise, being able to just sell that fake so easily on the A bomb site. I'm not really sure how that actually worked out. They made a lot of noise as well approaching up through banana. You can see, of course, Chopper realizing they were pushing towards them, at least a few players, so I'm surprised that we didn't see at least one rotate over from that A-bomb site.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they'd already come past Car. They were virtually walking onto the bomb site by the time you saw anybody even flinch towards CT. They were still holding their positions for an A fake, or a B fake to an A push, which is odd because they had heard so many steps. Chopper-ish had only spotted, I think, at most 2 players, but he'd heard many steps coming up banana. And the fact that they don't even rotate one player around to assist him is very surprising. If he has a Molotov in play, maybe it works out a little bit better. Then I can see them sitting down on A little longer and gambling on it being a fake. But when you're not smoking it, you're not Molotoving it. I mean, the only defense Chopperish had was a flashbang, and then immediately he was tucked in on the side. I don't really see where you have the confidence to play that slowly on A, and maybe shows a little bit of a lack of confidence in that they felt they had to stack up on A, or they think they've got more of a read on Demise than they actually do. But 1 round in favor of the T side. They start this out by losing a player as Engin falls, and a man disadvantage to work with, still confident in their slower strategy, not yet giving away any intention towards the side. As you can see, the bomb is still left in T-spawn, and with plenty of utility left to go. They have 3 smokes when they come into an execute, alongside 3 Molotovs and plenty of flashes. They should have no issue in recovering this advantage.
Yeah, they actually are able to go ahead and advance out mid. You can see the player that's around this position is just hiding in the cubby at the moment. That's magixx, I believe. Kind of similar to what you were saying in that previous round, but this time he is actually going to be challenged, decides to be a little bit more proactive. And with the flash from his teammate, able to take the first kill very easily and catch an imoRR as well. Kind of jumping around that corner. There wasn't really much of a defense that he could put up. And with that, a 5-on-2 now in play. So Team Spirit pretty easily rather able to solidify their lead in this round. As I said, that pass gets one, but being dropped to a single point of health, it doesn't really give him much of an opportunity to get a lot else done. Trades to the op, so I mean, he has a chance to connect a quick shot. But as I say that, somedieyoung taken down Mini. That leaves only Paz, and he'll be finished off very easily by that AK. 4-1 for Team Spirit. Demise, they still have that loss bonus, of course, rolling, so they will be able to buy again. But going down 4-1 here early on, Team Spirit beginning with a pretty solid lead for themselves. The momentum's definitely going in their favor early on, and that's kind of as we did expect.
Yeah, it's that one botched round. Other than that, though, it's looking pretty clean. I like magixx's decision to stick around there. This time, obviously, iDISBALANCE was sat on the corner, happy to help him out. Whereas before, it was a little different where iDISBALANCE was playing more towards the bomb site itself, looking for control in apartments. This time we see Demise also changing their game plan. They move towards Banana early on, attempting to secure that control with the AWP. imoRR actually forced forward by the op into iDISBALANCE, but he takes him down. The flash that he had thrown over blinded iDISBALANCE, so he had to count on timing, wasn't able to get the correct timing, and instantly deleted. Paz eliminates magixx on the A side, and now this is just chaos on the CT side. I mean, where do they go? It looks like they're expecting an A hit. It's the right call as somedieyoung takes one, immediately traded out, and Paz sticks around for more on long, opening up the A site completely. A bomb plant should be secured. It's only chopperish to delay them or stop them. He's sitting down towards library with 3 opponents to take down. The economy's okay for the CT side, so he can still go for this, but a 1v3 isn't all too likely, and if he doesn't get an opportunity in the first 10 or 15 seconds, I think he'll be...
Oh.
Well, that's certainly sealing his fate.
Yeah, that works. I mean, that does the job straight through the smoke. There's actually 2 players so far for Demise yet to frag, Mini and Engin. Mini, from what I've seen from him in the past, is a very solid player. And I mean, Engin, of course, played on Space Soldiers for a very long time, was never the most amazing fragger, but he definitely brings a lot of experience to this team. And let's see if they're going to be able to keep that up now, what they were able to do in the previous round, because they've ran down the economy here for Team Spirit. They've invested everything to get these rifles. They don't get a lot of utility, and what they do get, they utilize early on to try and get themselves some sort of control in the round. And I was going to say it didn't work out too well, but iDISBALANCE will end up burning beyAz alive. So a 1-for-1 trade early on, it's not the worst case scenario. Demise, I would say, probably still in the favored position, especially considering the amount of utility that they do actually have available. 1 flash actually is all that remains for Spirit at this point.
In their last couple of games, Engin has been the key fragger for them. Even up against teams like a Vanguard, he's been the one doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the fragging side. But I think we've seen quite a lot from players like beyAz recently, which is good to see the improvements there. For Demise at the moment, they're looking towards the B side, and you've got a little bit of a rotate coming around. somedieyoung's here to help. Ömer picks off one, bails back through the smoke. He's actually spamming and almost finding a kill. Engin's going to fade through that smoke right after him. Find Ömer a little bit unaware. somedieyoung. The thing is that the damage that somedieyoung has done, and as well as Ömer spamming through the smoke. Look, 4 and 2 health for the T side now. You need to be sneezed on and you're dead.
Yeah, I mean, that's an issue. Or should I say tissue? Yeah, that was horrible.
It really was.
Yeah, but no, Team Spirit being able to claw that round back right there, just the damage, as you said, that they were able to accumulate just spamming into the smoke. Although a few trades came in from Demise, Team Spirit were just in such a great position when it came down to that 2v2 retake. And now it's Demise that are actually the ones that are looking in a little bit of an awkward spot. I mean, I think it's only Paz that wasn't able to fully invest. He's able to buy himself up a Galil. I think someone initially dropped him over an AK, but he gave it back. Maybe that was a bit of a mistake. But it is a decent investment here for Demise, so not really lacking too much. They have the op available. But of course, over on the CT side, they also have that op in the hands of iDISBALANCE. magixx just gone straight through the smoke. He doesn't actually manage to get anything. Oh my god, I don't know how imoRR is able to recover that situation. beyAz being taken fairly low. imoRR in the end being burned a little bit further down by the Molotov, but it is a miracle that Demise didn't lose a player in that situation. Like, oh my god, what the hell?
It's a bit of an odd one for sure. For Demise now with the man advantage, even with the health that some of their players have lost, it's a pretty decent spot to play from. There's no real information for Team Spirit. They're about to get a little bit more aggressive towards Banana, but that could be dangerous as a flash goes over. beyAz is still tucked in the corner, ready to catch the frag, and Chopperish falls. Now the B site's open, so they have to rotate around, but that forces aggression on A to get a little bit more info as somedieyoung picks up one with the auto shotty. Now you're into a 3 versus 4. Still a hard situation to recover for Spirit, but with the fact that they've now pushed up in apartments, they've spotted one, they start to realize this is a B hit as soon as utility comes over. Nice shot connected by Murray, needs to bail out 20 HP. No way he sticks around to take this fight. And oh no!
What the hell is this round?
He's naded. He tried to nade in Mur knowing he was low, but hit beyAz. And then beyAz just stood there, sort of accepted his fate. I can't believe you've done this. With a 3 versus 2, Demise, man disadvantage. What is happening here, Dean? This is not textbook CS.
Nah, this is more like one of those little picture books you'd get. Close on the right now, Paz. The Molotov eventually does hit him and unfortunately reveal his position. Able to get one before he goes down, but in the end, Mirror and iDISBALANCE come in and just clean that one up for the defuse. I mean, Demise, it would have been handy if they had one more player for that after plant, I'm not going to lie. I don't know how they could have got that one more player. I mean, maybe if they didn't drop nades on each other. 6-2 though for Team Spirit. Demise, they're going to be kicking themselves over that one. You can see the economy now. It's just kind of under the mark that they need to be able to actually get out that full buy. Pause gets called in. They'll be having a bit of a discussion, but I wouldn't expect them to really invest everything in this round. Maybe some pistols and Kevlar, a bit of utility, so they can maybe have a bit of an execute with a plan in mind. But they do want to ensure that going into the next round, they will be able to fully invest. I mean, I believe they're working with the full loss bonus, so they should be able to spend quite a bit.
The decision's made on the Demise side that it's just going to be the pistols, despite having a little bit of economy to get that force buy up if they wanted to. They're not feeling it. You're going to have 3 Dings, CZ, and imoRR sticking down on the Glock. And he wants to save over the cash for future rounds, maybe get that AWP out. iDISBALANCE gets aggressive. He might regret that as the pistols just immediately blitz around. magixx saves his life and fades on back through short. Good damage done to the AWPer, but he can fade back and play a much more passive stance. The rifle should be more than capable of finishing off this essentially 4 versus 3 with imoRR lurking around the back. You've also got the SMG on Chopper. He's positioned down towards B, so really you do not want to drop this AWP. If iDISBALANCE dies now, that is almost a guaranteed rifle loss. So I'd be surprised to see him peeking anything really. I think the fact that he's utility, he plays util support, although that's just been thrown out, so he's only got the smoke. magixx takes another. This is all just about damage control. Chopperish gets aggressive, finds one on the SMG, looks for an upgrade. It's a pistol he finds. But it's a clean round for Spirit, not losing any players. Chopperish probably doesn't even upgrade here, to be honest. He wants to keep his economy leveled with the rest of the team. He's the opportunity to, but the fact that he's playing towards B, I think that MP9 is going to do him just fine.
I like the early aggression in that previous round from Team Spirit, kind of off the back of the pause from Demise, realizing that there was probably a bit more of a tactical approach in mind. I mean, we didn't see all that utility, etc., coming out from Demise, but I'd say what was in the mind of Team Spirit was if we push forward, we don't even let them try and set up for whatever they want to do. And that can kind of get in the mind of your opponent a little bit. You can see they're playing a lot more passive now in this round, expecting that aggression once again. And although it's come in somewhat from Team Spirit, it is to a bit of a lesser extent. They had the op kind of peeking down from the apartments. They have somedieyoung up there as well. And oh, it looked like he was going to take a bit of a peek right there. Paz didn't actually have his gun out, so that could have been dangerous. Well, let's see what the plan is. Demise is going to be actually focusing all of their players towards Banana early on. Smoke down at the moment. I think Engin was spotted somewhat. Even if he wasn't, Chopper decided to spam true. beyAz returns one up on the wall. Mini in a great position to drop Chopper, and with that, open up this B bomb site now. The smoke could be put down. magixx, he will have the opportunity to pounce though. Good damage being connected. Not quite picking up a kill off the back of it though.
Makes it out of there with pretty much full health, and iDISBALANCE getting one before he's fallen. beyAz dropping him through the smoke. They don't know magixx is around here, though. There is an AWP in position. How have they allowed Paz to fall? That doesn't make sense. They've got an op down towards Banana, who could easily cover that, a player on side as well, and they leave it completely open. I suppose they presumed when they killed iDISBALANCE that was the last player. It's all on magixx now. He knows where imoRR is, with imoRR being super low as well. That could be a much more favorable fight than normal, but beyAz spots him first and takes him out of the game. 7-3 with Demise winning that round. They've carried forward an AWP and a Krieg, and the rest of the players will easily be able to get weapons out, dropped over by the teammates, and buying up where necessary with a small disadvantage in utility. Oh no, Mini actually decides... Oh, he was dropped over, never mind. The weapons are just flying around here. Yeah, so everybody ends up with a rifle, and Paz has a little bit of a disadvantage in utility, buying up for himself.
Yeah, it's a decent buy. Pretty solid for Demise. I mean, they will want to try and take this one a little bit cleaner if they can. But as we can see, it's Team Spirit as well, who are also struggling for money. So this is a pretty important round for both of these sides right now. If Demise do pick this up, it's likely they get a fifth off the back of it. And at that point, even just getting one more round on the T side would put them in a really good position. Or at least a position that they could be happy with. beyAz spamming through the smoke there, of course, does open up the round. imoRR took some damage in the meantime, so he's just about hanging on to life. So although it is the man advantage at the moment for Demise, it could pretty easily be lost. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do have in mind. Again, looking like that B-bomb site is going to be the position that they favor towards. There is two players for the moment. I say for the moment because Chopper is looking like he was tempted to rotate and does eventually go ahead and commit to it. So with that, actually, Mir backing off as well. This is interesting. The smokes begin to come in. I think they realize their mistake at this point. Although it is a bit of a fake. This is interesting from Demise. They pulled another player off the A-bomb site now, able to catch one off guard. magixx stuck in behind the box. A smart idea, I would say, to drop the smoke so that he can give himself a bit of time to actually reposition. And most importantly, give his teammates some time to begin rotating back in. The longer he can stay alive, the better.
Yeah, he's bought himself a lot of time. And then the rotate back, it's a fake of a fake. They go to B, they realize, you know what, there's a guy on site, they've probably rotated in. And the pivotal part of this decision is Engin's aggression. He's pushed up towards CT, tucked into the tree. He knows now, as long as there's no one sitting in around church, you're cool. Construction should be clear. You're happy to just tuck in that corner, make sure they don't push in, get the bomb plant, and the round is more or less yours at this point. Spirit 3 versus 4 retake. Yes, imoRR is low. They don't know that though. They know there's an AWP in play and sitting towards the back of the bomb side. Obviously, this is not an angle you want to be pushing, as well as the fact that players are in aggressive stances. I think this is 100% the right call to go for the save. The only issue is that beyAz is still starting to get a little bit aggressive. They're still getting a little bit aggressive, moving towards the apartments where he'll try to stop them from saving these weapons.
I don't know if Demise should really be putting too much money into trying to hunt this down. That's the issue. It's kind of high risk and high reward because they know how low the money is for Team Spirit, but they themselves, if they lose even just one gun, is somewhat does damage their economy because now they're going to have to put the reinvestment in Paz. I mean, he could buy for himself. It's more likely he gets dropped, though. beyAz probably will be able to buy for himself still. But it's a lot of reinvestment that wasn't completely necessary. And considering now there was still 3 weapons saved over from the CT side, they're in a pretty decent position to still be able to have the chance here to instantly come back with a round of their own and leave Demise in a position where their economy isn't great. I mean, they've still got a bit of the loss bonus, so it wouldn't be terrible. But as you can see, Team Spirit are able to just about hobble together a buy here, and it includes those 3 saved rifles. It has a deagle then for magixx. somedieyoung on the FAMAS. Utility-wise, it's also fairly decent. Quick mid-control going to be coming in, though. That nade does a small bit of damage, but they still managed to catch magixx in towards the arch as he was, unfortunately, trying to fall back off. Chopper is rotated in, but I think they have an idea that he may be on the other side of that smoke. So for now, going to go ahead and, I guess, kind of slow down things. As I say, that engine does take a peek from the ramp and unfortunately get dropped by the op of iDISBALANCE.
Spirit going more towards the conventional solo B-hold. Like we said earlier, it was weird that they had Chopperish there. Now they've got the AWP, but he's going to rotate in as well as they hear a lot of steps, a lot of scopes coming in towards the A side. All coming through short with the exception of one Paz who's in apartments. Demise looking to make this happen as they aggress over towards the site. No one's in pit, so it's all on the bomb side itself. The hole comes through. Chopperish on the spray down, takes down imoRR as a second. It's the initially deleted Paz up on the balcony. 8-4 now for Team Spirit. Getting themselves back up on the scoreboard. And the thing for them at the moment, they're still not in a safe spot. Demise can very easily come back into this and take it 8-7. But with the fact that only one AK has been bought up just yet, I feel like no one else is going to go for it, and it looks like it. So this is most likely a 9th round for Spirit, which at least gives them decent foundations for the next half. But on the Demise front, they do still have the opportunities. 2 players having armor and a small bit of utility. And this is from saving over the round where they only lost the one beyAz who was hunting towards the A site, and they survived with 3 then, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. Because they had lost Paz already, and then beyAz, I believe, was the one that went down in the apartments.
Mm-hmm.
So
and the advantage there, I mean, you can see if beyAz survived, that'd be another AK floating around. They fought, and they needed that trade on long. The AK's down. They've lost their utility. Ooh, nice shot by Paz. Oh my god, onto Mur as well. That AK is retrievable now. Sticks around a little too long on short, but they've already done some great damage and upgraded. They've lost both players that had armor, which is a downside, sure. But they've got one-shot headshot capabilities here. The only issue is the gun kick, really. Like that. You can see beyAz had no chance of hitting that. As soon as he got hit in the toe, he was looking at the sky.
Yeah, that it is very unfortunate. He had to pretty much pick up that one tap instantaneously once the peak came in with the Krieg. 9-4 for Team Spirit, but I mean, Demise can be pretty happy with how that round went, being able to pick up a couple of kills, dropping a few rifles, and also you've seen the amount of utility also that has to be reinvested into this round, so it does keep the economy relatively low. I mean, at this point, it's probably not really going to matter unless Demise win this round right now, then you will actually see Team Spirit in the final round of the half, not really having that much money to invest, so it could still have that impact. We'll have to wait and see, of course. The issue is beyAz early on getting burnt down, a nade going in as well. It will be enough to finish him off. So with that, a man advantage has now been snatched in favor of Team Spirit, and it looks like Mini is tempted to try and take a peek soon. Unfortunately, he's probably going to find out there's an op waiting. The only issue is, iDISBALANCE, he did have a couple of players nearby to help him. That's no longer the case. So after missing that first shot now, instantly rather just forced to fall back off and give up the control. Kind of interesting. I thought they would have tried to actually keep it.
I thought of that. Let me try again. I thought that was a great reaction by Mur. He was tucked in the sandbags. He heard the ticks of the Molotov and then the smoke go down, but it already ticked him so much that he knew the player was still pushed up close because he dropped that smoke. So he lobs the nade in immediately and finds the frag. It's just unfortunate for beyAz because he did look at it for a second and think, that's going to spread to me. Then just ignored it. Thought that he'd read it correctly. Demise move towards the B side. Okay, they take down iDISBALANCE. So in a 2 versus 4 there, that frag is so important because they'll get a bomb plant for sure. But Team Spirit actually taking a couple of seconds to rotate over, so Demise can get in position. They try to force early fights, and Chopperish loses a chunk of health for it. Very winnable for Demise at the moment. They really want this round, as imoRR takes down Chopperish even more so. They're not looking towards Banana just yet. And somedieyoung's able to pick up a kill for free. Knowing where the final player is, and ngiN sticks around. Unable to play the time as he's already dead. That's a free defuse for Team Spirit, and they'll take it. Double digits in this half already, with 1 round left to play for.
Yeah, Demise, they need to pick up this 5th round to put themselves in a spot that they can be happy with, or at least somewhat happy with. 4 rounds at the halftime, it's just not really good enough. If you end up losing the pistol, then you're not really given any room to work with. And of course, the pistol at times, I'm not going to say it's random, but it can be a little bit more up in the air than the full gun round. Did they just nade themselves and spawn?
Possibly. I was watching the tease at that point.
Yeah, no. I heard a nade exploding above them. I don't know who threw a nade into the air. That's an interesting shot. Must have been. I'm gonna guess it was an accident, but yeah, a little bit awkward. Gives Demise a slightly better chance in this round. You see Mir and also Chopper right now in a slightly weaker position. I mean, Chopper not affected too much, but Mir, for example, that Galil now 1 shot towards his head. So the helmet not really being effective anymore. Right now, a different setup, slightly over towards Banana. We've seen the op back towards the wall, but we haven't seen a player up close. So this could potentially catch Demise off guard. You can see completely focused on the upper for the moment. That was a risky re-peek right there from iDISBALANCE, but he connects the shot. Despite not getting the frag, of course, it extends that advantage pretty happily here for Team Spirit.
Chopperish up closer. Could be catching beyAz off, and you see he does. He swings in towards that smoke as well. The player on the other side was imoRR on just 13 HP, but decides not to. And they make their way towards the A site. It's going to be Paz that's thrown over the flash. Unfortunately, Mur's heard that, the pin pull out of it. And look at that, just walks straight through with his back turned. That position's been held by magixx and Mur quite a lot. And Mur comes in with the final kill onto Engin. I'm surprised Demise aren't checking the corner, but now that I think about it, I think they were punished 1 round from the player in there. And although Demise have been there again and again, they often gave up the position as soon as the push was starting to come in towards the side. So I don't know if Demise would have faced that corner enough that they would be, consistently checking it. I think that's why we also saw Spirit use it so much.
Yeah, also pretty common for a player to either be back in library on the corner or maybe even an arch. So I think he kind of took a bit of a gamble that he looks in the direction of the 3 angles rather than just the 1. I mean, even if the up close corner is quite common, But yeah, of course, didn't work out for him in the end, walking into the smoke. But a very strong half from Team Spirit, been able to bring it up to 11 rounds. They had a pretty good start, being up like 4-1, I believe, at some point. Demise, unfortunately, never really getting the chance to try and actually string any momentum together. Just kind of a round every now and again that they did pick up. So momentum-wise, didn't really get anything rolling. Can they step it up now on the CT side? Can they pick up the pistol and maybe make this comeback happen? I mean, if we look at the statistics, probably not. Inferno just doesn't seem like a great map for them.
Again, it is sort of what we were expecting starting the night out. Demise shouldn't be performing massively here, considering they generally don't, and Spirit would be a team that I would put on a caliber above Demise at the moment. But then the other side of the coin is that, you know, Spirit haven't played Inferno that much, and we saw them versus Navi Jr. Not doing horrendously, but I think it was 16-12 that they won, which is still a very tight scoreline. I think, though, they've just, considering some of the rounds that Demise won and made a lot of ground in, there were certainly mistakes there for Spirit. Like, you can definitely see, as you were saying towards the start of the game, that it's maybe not their best map. That's why they don't play it so much. The biggest example to me was the sort of misplay they had with Chopperish in Banana on his own, jump peeking it. He spotted them. No rotations came in. He flashed. He heard the steps. He heard the flashes coming over. Still no rotations coming in. And eventually he dies, and then they start moving, which was and then they gave up, right, to 4 versus 5. They gave the round over to Demise.
Yeah, the setup itself is very strong. Whether you play with the rifle jump peeking just for info,
Sure,
or you play with the op. If you're playing it with the op, you can try and get that quick kill and then fall back off. So I guess it's not quite as urgent for the rotation, although you still need it to come in pretty quickly, a lot quicker than they had it. But especially in a position where you only have that M4 where you're not able to actually challenge Banana, maybe get one kill that forces them to shy away a little bit or anything like that. He, of course, just had to fall straight back to the bomb site, and at that point, you're going to just see the T's just commit straight in. So the fact that a rotation hadn't even begun off of the A-bomb site had pretty much finished that round before it had begun. But yeah, right now, going live into that second pistol. Demise now on the CT side, of course. beyAz picking up a defuse kit and a couple flashes. Engin, on the other hand, going for a 5-7 and a smoke. And then over on the T side, we see Chopper and iDISBALANCE picking up some utility. 2 smokes, a flash, and a molly. Where are they going to bring that? I mean, with the molly and 2 smokes, the B-bomb site would seem probably the most likely. You can put down the smoke towards CT, one towards construction, of course. Molotov then can be thrown into many different positions, including the boost, where Engin currently is.
Spirit's still having the bomb down towards T-spawn. You know they're not going to be fully committing anywhere, right? They're just skirmishing again. It's what we saw from Demise, but a little bit faster. Dialed up about 1.2 times speed. But eventually that bomb's going to be picked up, and you can see with 3 players still towards top Banana and apartments control given up, this is where they're going to be taking it. Gravitating in towards this site are the CTs as well. They've got Mini, beyAz, and Engin. Engin sitting over towards the CT spawn on the boost you were talking about earlier on, and then obviously Mini and beyAz holding down on the crossfire on the site. Oh my god, Paz just takes them on the cross. That's unfortunate. Not a lot you can do as Mini finds one. Paz is going to just fade through the smoke, picks up another for himself. And a 5th round for Demise. Clean as can be on the pistol round, only losing Engin, who was up on the boost. And I mean, when you get Glocks rushing in towards that site, if you're on the boost, you're probably going to die. Especially if your players on site are holding that tight crossfire and not actively peeking.
Yeah, it's a very strong round right there. But Demise, I mean, a little bit fortunate getting that spam in through the smoke, etc. But good hold. Good call as well to push into the smoke while the players were distracted, of course, by the 2 towards the back of the bomb site. So a convincing round from Demise that gives them a lifeline now for them to try and actually start building up a bit of momentum here on the CT side. Ideally, you want to see them taking at least 4 or 5 rounds in a row, just so it puts them in a position where you can really start believing in that comeback. If they end up losing that first gun round, then I definitely would still be a little bit worried. Right now, though, Pistols, Kevlar, Utility, Team Spirit, they have fully invested into the second round, and it's not like we've seen from Demise. They got the bomb down, I believe, in the pistol, so they were, of course, able to get out a few rifles, etc. Team Spirit, unfortunately, not able to do that. A little bit more limited in terms of what they have available.
Nice shot by magixx to open it up. Onto Engin as the trade there. It is eventually 2 for 1, but it works, as they'd already found the opening duel. Now movement towards Banana. Mini's completely surrounded. The player in CT is going to be here in time, though, so they have to win the fight in Banana, and iDISBALANCE does successfully find it. Picks up a FAMAS on his way. And he actually, I thought he was lit up a lot more than that, but 79 health, I mean, he's very much still in the fight. He's the only disadvantage they have is that iDISBALANCE doesn't have head armor, but on that kind of range, it shouldn't matter, I say, as he gets headshot by imoRR. It's all on to somedieyoung with a deagle. He doesn't hear the steps just yet. Now he does, knowing there's at least one. I think he's heard both steps at this point coming up behind. Nade goes through, luckily not onto themselves this time. somedieyoung biding his time, but they've cleared out every angle. They're confident now that he's towards CT. imoRR goes in for the peek and just about survives. 8 HP. If he fell, the swing could have been there to take down the bomb diffuser. But Demise just about pull it off with the SMGs. And they'll carry the two of those forward into this. We've even seen imoRR take the AWP. The logic there, they know now Spirit have got a little bit of cash. It's hard to gauge exactly how much they spent, right? Because there were deagles in play. They don't know if armor was bought or to what extent utility was bought up. I think that if Spirit hadn't have bought any armor, we would probably see a buy from them right now. But because they committed quite heavily economically towards the last round, now we're just seeing this glorified force buy.
Yeah, I mean, they spent quite a lot into this round. Still kept the money, of course, so they can get a full investment in the following, but it gives them a pretty good opportunity to try and actually get something done in this one. The M4 being retrieved. The flash as well is perfect as imoRR tries to fall back off. The up going down from the balcony, though. beyAz gets 4. What is that? Eventually traded by iDISBALANCE. But as he steps back out into the eyesight of the player over towards long, it's a very easy kill on that MP9. Engin retrieves the up. It was a close round, a lot more shaky than Demise would have hoped for, but an absolutely heroic play there from beyAz keeps them in it. That is a tough spot to take four kills from, especially when they're peeking you at so many different elevations from the bomb site, from down on short, from over on the balcony itself. It was a very difficult spot to be in, and he controlled it extremely well. Now that the full buy is coming out from Team Spirit, considering that previous round was just the pistols, it is a little bit interesting to see how it's going to go once the rifles are available. 2 from Mini, before Mir eventually trades 1 back for the banana control.
The nade over does a lot of damage to iDISBALANCE. Engin was just a second too late to catch them, but on the spray down, he takes imoRR and lights up iDISBALANCE to 25. Contemplating the boost, Paz is going to take a nade. Oh, that's beautiful. No, it was actually a spam coming through from Engin. And then Paz is able to just shoot through the little gap as they're focused a little bit too much towards the left of it. Really nicely handled by Demise, and Team Spirit now have iDISBALANCE rotating back down towards the bottom of Banana. With 50 seconds left on the clock and a 1v4. I think he still has to go for it, really. You don't want to be left with 0 cash. Especially as your team probably won't be full buying up in the next round. But 30 seconds left. I mean, your chances are diminishing significantly. There's still 2 players towards the A side to deal with.
Oh, yeah, iDISBALANCE unfortunately just stepping into the scope of the up of imoRR right there. Demise looking good, been able to pick up a pretty convincing round right there. You do see the economy, of course, for Team Spirit not quite being in a position for them to be able to buy. If iDISBALANCE had been able to get the bomb down, then they would have had a pretty solid investment. But unfortunately, looking at potentially just another pistol and armor round here, and indeed that is going to be the case. Deagle's being pulled out on everyone. So this is going to be interesting, especially if Demise decide to try and get aggressive early on. They could be in for a bit of trouble. I mean, the op in the hands of imoRR pushing down mid now towards second does catch somedieyoung. And with that molly, of course, down towards the ramp, he knew he was safe for at least a few seconds. And then with that, able to fall back off easily. So a nice man advantage being found early on, kind of controlling Team Spirit well also, because they've also taken the banana control in the meantime. So they know the only kind of options are that Team Spirit are now making their way up mid, or else that they're around second mid in the apartments. So a good idea about what's currently going on. Option also being connected, not dropping Chopper though. He does have Kevlar. I think it was because it was connected through the corner of that wooden pallet. A peek with the USB, that is risky. Manages to find one and even dinks down Mir. And another repeat.
Yeah, I mean, that was very overly aggressive. A little tap from Paz over towards the door to finish it off, 11-9. I mean, you lose a rifle there, right? So it's definitely not worth it. You go out with the AWP, yeah, you lose it. Your teammate picks it up, but that's an AK just deleted from the map. And, I mean, is it really worth it to take down a couple of pistols? Not necessarily. They've still got cash though, so they're not too worried about it on the Demise side. Molotov's coming down middle early on, do a little bit of damage and keep them back, but the nades from the T's, Engin and Mini, both lit down significantly. What is that from somedieyoung jumping through the doorway? imoRR's got to be hitting his desk after that one.
I don't know, he got shot in the leg there as well. somedieyoung shouldn't have been landing that jump, man.
He should have been falling over as soon as he landed.
Yeah, I mean, an off bullet to the kneecaps is going to be a painful ordeal. He's walking fine, man. Look, he's like, I'll throw you the bomb and
Broken
everything.
game.
I'll go apartments. I'm going to go walk up these stairs right now with a sniper bullet in my leg.
A 50 caliber shot to the leg. No worries.
Nice man advantage, though. They'll be happy with that. They'll take it.
Oh no, the flashbangs. That's so unlucky, the timing there. They drop one on the CT side, they peek on it, and immediately the T flash pops. Out goes Engin to try and trade. Nothing to be found. That's actually heartbreaking. They had a perfect plan there on the CT side, still in the Molotov. beyAz needs to swing out wider. Oh, chopperish, you had the right read. He moved. Let's go. They know beyAz. Okay, eventually they realize one left. It's beyAz and Pit. There we go. Whew. That was a little bit. I mean, chopperish had the read. The Molotov's forcing him out of Pit, that he's going to move to the right. He was a little bit further right than where Chopper sprayed, and I really thought Chopper was going to get shot in the back. But no, I'm short. The CTs have two players lined up. The guy in Pit, I think it was beyAz, throws in the flashbang. It pops. The second it pops, around the corner come the CTs. And it wasn't planned. The Ts had already thrown their flash by the time they would have seen or heard the flashbang coming around the corner. Their one pops. CTs are stood in the open, completely blind, and it's just free kills for the T side.
It was just perfect timing. Two teams trying to do something to be proactive, and they just clash head on, and one team just comes out with all the advantages pretty much. It was really really well timed, I guess, from Team Spirit, even if they didn't completely intend it. They heard the footsteps though, probably getting up close just as their flash was popping. But yeah, I mean, this is an important round right now for Demise. They've invested all of their money into this round. It gives them a double up setup. It gives them a good bit of utility to work with. They have a couple defuse kits as well. But if they don't win this one, at that point, Team Spirit are probably going to be taking a 14-9 lead. So this is a necessity for Demise to be able to keep up with this comeback. Player up on the balcony already being dropped. beyAz goes down. They know one of these ops is over towards the bomb site, and being able to peek from up on balcony at the same time, they at least find a 1-for-1 trade. Smoke down towards long at this point. They probably should take a bit of a safer approach. Paz, I don't know, trying to be a bit of a hero right there, but I feel like working with his teammates probably would have been the better idea. I mean, with 4 alive, what are the chances that no one is watching that long smoke?
Yeah, I mean, you're you're definitely talking about some lottery level opportunities there. But the decisions are made and they don't quite work out. Team Spirit close in on a victory now, 13-9. And for the CT side, obviously there is see, look, I could forgive it if this was 2 rounds ago. Demise lost a couple of players and they still ended up at like 4.8 or 4.9k after buying. But the fact that they've decided to make those very aggressive decisions with 0 cash in the bank, and again, if it was Mini going for it with the SMG, again, slightly more forgivable. But when you're just charging through the smoke like that, no teammates to help you out or anything, we're not it's a bit of a throwaway, right?
Yeah, no. Demise pretty much just willing to give over this 14th round to Team Spirit. I think they may be also looking to try and save that up over. If I was them, obviously try and get some early picks with it. But if it comes down to a position where the bomb site's getting taken, I wouldn't even attempt the retake just so that they can have the off to work with then in the next round. Well, let's see. I mean, also an MP9 in the hands of Mini. He's actually being entrusted to solo the B bomb site currently, which currently is being pressured by Team Spirit. It doesn't look like they're really going to be committing to any of these bomb sites too soon. I mean, still fairly early in the round. There's a minute and 20 seconds remaining. But they've already got themselves a good bit of control to work with. And it looks like they may eventually try and work in towards middle as well. Molotov being thrown down, as I say that though, beginning to fall back off, and now just grouping up on Banana. But it seems like the Demise have at least a bit of a read about what's going on. The only player actually yet to rotate is Engin.
Comes the push for Demise now. The time has come. All the USPs are ready to rumble. SMG tucked up close is the best chance at the moment. And Mini's taken down immediately. Not a whole lot to be found, but Paz coming in on the... Paz has been so strong today on the headshots. Now, look, he did force a team kill, but he was about to find the frag anyways. He'd done so much damage. Engin is still going for this with the op. I really want to see him back off and save. He baits out the shot, and now he's 18 HP, but it's not actually too late to fall back because the player that was coming around through construction has backed off over. He's now spamming the smoke, getting aggressive, up and around, shot missed by Engin, and Chopper is just swings his mouse left and right, spraying, and eventually he'll find up Engin as they knew he was legged through the wall a little bit earlier on. 14-9. I feel like the fiscal decisions that Demise are making are way out of the park. I don't know if maybe it's a snowball thing that they feel like they've lost and like this is their last chance to go for it kind of thing. I don't know, something's changed here, but they're not playing the smart game anymore when it comes to the economic management. They're going for the aggression towards Banana though, and that is smart, and it works out perfectly for them with the assistance of Paz popping the flash over. They find two enemies that have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, that's what magixx attempted in that previous half. It worked out
Attempted,
for Mini. Yeah, emphasis on attempted. A nice two-man advantage though for Demise to work with. As you said, it was looking like they were a little bit lost, but if they can start bringing it back now, the only issue is they don't really have room to really have any errors from this point forward. If they want to get the win in regulation, they cannot afford to lose another round. Surprised Chopper didn't go down. It didn't seem like he connected that shot through the wall, but apparently he did just towards the top of it. So Chopper getting tagged up, I mean, considering they already have a two-man disadvantage, it's just making things so much worse for Team Spirit in this round. They've got a lot of time. That is a positive, but they also don't really have control on the A side of the map. They don't know if anyone could be pushed up into the apartments, etc. Or if there could even potentially be any flanks coming in. So they are kind of a bit limited on the decisions that they make. It seems like they will still try and bring it towards the B-bomb site. So it will be Engin and Mini to try and hold this one down. No real utility to work with, so it's going to be up to them connecting these shots, to be fair. So there is an opportunity. If Team Spirit can find these two kills before the rotations come in, then there's always hope. But as I say that, Engin and Paz just shut it down. An up headshot to finish things off from Engin, just to be sure.
It has more of a calculated risk, right? Like it actually does pay off to go aggressive down Banana like that. You're going to catch them off a lot of the time, especially with that deep smoke. So the players that are maybe down towards middle can't swing back and help because their vision's obscured. And even if they do try to help and spray through, chances are they're going to hit their teammates as well. So they're kind of forced out of the fight. Whoever's in Banana is the one you're going to be dueling. And then you got a much better chance of taking it across the line. Nades down over towards the corner. Not going to land anything as Team Spirit are much more passive towards Banana this round, although they've already lost iDISBALANCE. beyAz was traded out for it. And Spirit, with the advantage now, seem to be looking towards the A-bomb site. You've got imoRR and Paz holding down there to try and stop this. But actually, Engin makes a read on this as they don't see anyone in Banana. They naded, and obviously no one came out. No one died. So now they're thinking, okay, this is probably an A hit, and they rotate around to have a three-man stack towards the A site. For Engin, he's a little bit late to actually get in there as they've already lost long control. So has to be a bit cautious about where he moves, and instead just securing CT Chopperish up behind them. It doesn't look like they knew that they'd lost. What is going on? Is Chopperish invisible? Is he a ghost? He walks up long. They know they've given up control, and yet they're not watching it. They've got their backs turned. Not a worry in the world. And then even after he finds two, Engin is just looking towards the middle side along. Chopperish walks up and takes a third guy not looking at him.
Yeah, not I mean, that just looked too easy for Chopper. You don't get to the Chopper, Mitch. Chopper gets you.
I like that. I like that. That's one of the ones I'll give you, Dean.
Thank you. It's nice to have some sort of appreciation in my life, Mitch.
It's taken a year, but I'm not disgusted by what you've said.
I mean, I'm always disgusted by what you say, Mitch, so it's fine. We're even. Mini looking to save, though. I mean, give them some hope in this next round if they can have the one Krieg. He is somewhat being hunted. I don't think Chopper's going to be able to make it to him in time, though, so clearing out the back of the bomb site. Yeah, indeed. There we go. One rifle being saved over. Unfortunately, $50 short of being able to drop an M4 to a teammate. That would have been very handy. Could still drop something over, maybe an SMG, even to one of them who's lacking a little bit more. An MP9 being bought up. That's given the Paz. He can get himself a full set of utility now, and the Kevlar, of course, to back that up. It's not a great buy, though. To try and keep themselves alive, they have 2 rifles. They have 3 MP9s. I mean, utility, it's actually one of the better buys they've had in the past few in terms of the nades that they have. So that is one positive.
Oh, look at this blitz coming up towards the A site. The thing is, they've left Engin unchecked, and he finds one. He's about to run out of ammo, and he's about to run out of health. This Chopperish just domes him. Oh, hold on. What's Paz doing? He's getting close to the smoke. He's thinking about holding W. Molotov up behind him. Now they're going to think no one's going to push through. Oh, they're still watching it, though. The flashbang was perfect. He waited for beyAz to come around and drop that form, taking down Mur, putting them back in a winnable position. But as imoR falls, they have to close in towards that bomb site. Position's already down in pit. Choppers, 4 HP to work with. But iDISBALANCE on the AWP picks it up on the balcony. That's going to be the end of the game as Spirit take it across the line. And we're going to actually throw to a very quick break, Dean, because we've got another game coming up in just a couple of minutes, and we want to jump right into it as fast as